Okay, hi everybody. I'm just going to go through some of the video that we had from this past weekend. So here is the women's stuff. Start with our game. I'll just skip through a little bit of the talking and play. So right now we're starting from a breakdown pass, and obviously this is slow ball because we've given the defense loads of time to set up. So I love that we're in a little bit of a structure here. We've got a lead, we've got a tip player, we've got a motor player, and then some players a little bit spread out wide on both sides. So really great structure set up to start. Let's see what we do with it. Big pass. Okay, did we go forwards or backwards there? Just answer that as you're watching along. There we go. So depending on if we went forwards or backwards as the attack, did we choose to set up a structure or did we choose to try and go quick with momentum? Turnover ball, is it fast or slow? Think about it. So the other thing I want us to think about is we just had two different scenarios where we did a turnover because the player got touched twice. What's a really easy way to just make sure that you don't get a turnover in those instances? Or think about it in a 15s game where if you had two people coming in to tackle you, that double tackle, what kind of space would that leave in the defensive line? Where would the space be for you to give a quick pass ball to for somebody to run on? Check out here again where the space is. So if we have a little look, let's see if this works. Let's see. So we've got a clump of defenders here. We've got a clump of defenders here. We've got one over here, and we've got one over here. And they are all moving backwards, those defenders. You can tell their hips. Everybody has to be going backwards right now. So if the defenders are going backwards, and we've got clumping defense, we should be trying to identify maybe this is a great line to run right here through that gap. Or maybe we can have one coming this way outside that might pull this defender in. And maybe it leaves a quick tip ball on the outside here for those athletes. Or same thing over here. I know they just came from a breakdown, but maybe we get up on our feet faster and can hit that running line where all the backs of these defenders are turned. Okay, so just have a think about what that's going to look like. Let's see what we choose to do. Played out wide and just got touched. So one pass. One pass, two passes, but a forward pass there, I believe. Yep. Turnover ball. Tried to go quick, so I appreciate that. Tried to move the ball into some space. No problem there. Got touched by two defenders, so maybe we want to move it again. Okay, we went all the way down. Nobody really attacked forward into any gaps that time. So we were really looking for someone to hit a line with some pace. Maybe some kind of a flat line with some pace. A quick turnover ball. I'm gonna just show this one really quick again, just because it's fast, but you can see it here. So boom. Okay, we had two defenders come in there. You can see that? We had two defenders come into this tagging spot right here. which means there is a space for one attacking player on the outside here and one attacking player on the outside here. We have two support players that could be taking advantage of this space that was just left open by a defender. So those are the pictures that we have to start to realize are happening in live time to be able to take advantage of them. And that's why having the skill of being able to pass left and right before contact is really important. That's why we want to stay square going into contact as much as we can so that we can pass left and right, so that when those gaps open up, we actually have the tools, the ability, and the skills to make that pass happen and take advantage of the work that you just did to commit the defenders. Think about where some of the gaps are opening up. I like that pass. It's a little big, it's a little bit mistimed, but that's the right idea. I think that was Aaron. Gets the ball here, notices a defender is coming in from the outside. She knows the space is going to be outside of her. It's not in front of her, and she really doesn't want to get a turnover. Knows that two defenders are coming in, so she's trying to get the ball off. Now the pass, the skill wasn't properly executed. It was a big pass where maybe it could have just been a very small pass to a player coming with speed right beside her. But the identification of that pitcher is there. So that's really, really good learning. Okay, now we just need to get our skills a little bit more organized here. Try scored. Okay, look at the pitcher. By the time we pass the ball, the defense going forwards or backwards. Think about that. Good 2v1 identification there. I think that's Meredith. Good job. That's what we worked on the past week, some 2v1 ID. Right here again, I just want to show this really quickly. So first of all, after the 2v1, look at how all the defense are moving. So blue is in defense right now. Everybody has to run backwards to get on side. So knowing that, where should we try and attack? As fast as we can, and yeah, probably like 1 or 2 passes away, not very far away. So I would argue that we could have done a little bit of a pick and go from the base there, or maybe exploit this space or be able to exploit this space. You know, we've got some clumping defense happening. They're not completely organized because they've had to run backwards. So now we've got a ball carrier here. And if we just had somebody running that really hard line through that gap, we could have this defender take on this attacker, or this attacker take on this defender, and then that might open up this space for this person to run through. Instead, we stepped back inside, so we didn't actually commit that outside defender, or maybe we would have had a chance before. We did get some ground, so the defense are still going backwards, but they're pretty much set, right? They're pretty much set. Again, choosing to run back inside is really cutting off a lot of our defenders there. Now the defense have gone forwards. So this is when we want to bring in our structure. Really good job identifying the first receiver. And then, you know, without that structure in place, we've just passed the ball backwards twice to people who maybe weren't ready. And from there, we get a turnover ball. Again, I'm just going to ask a question here. Think about this. Just think about this. If I'm going to receive the ball out here, I'm this player, and I've got 1 and 2 defenders outside. If I run into this defender, what is this person over here, the number 1? What are they thinking? They're probably not thinking that they're going to have to do anything. So I'll just argue, like, let's have a little look here and see. Imagine in your head, if this defender right here runs forward and then makes a cut to the outside of this defender, what picture does that give us that we worked on in skills this week? What picture would that give us? All right, I'm not gonna stop this anymore, but I might talk through it a little bit. We'll just have a little bit of a watch together. And there, if it was really, really good identification that we needed to go fast with momentum. And if one more player had have realized that, then I think we could have had a tip pass and the turnover wouldn't have happened. So we really want to be thinking when that defense is going backwards, we should all be on attack, like flooding through running lines. We can always reset, right? We can always reset. But if we're all attacking, trying to get something of a flat pass or be really close support, that's going to put a lot of pressure on the defense where they just had a lot of pressure put onto them. And we want to keep building that pressure as much as we can. Look at that picture on the outside. We've got a 3v2 there. So try and find those moments to create 2v1s from other overlap situations. Think about how you might be able to do that. And again, so nobody was running onto the ball with any momentum from green. Blue was able to get an interception. Tried to create that 2v1 there. 2 defenders got pulled in. We tried to get the pass off, so I like that. We're trying to work at it. Really good transfer there. Really good job. Good exit from the blue team. Good decisions. No problem with that at all. And we worked with momentum there. We had a little pick and go from the base, so that's good again. Let's see if anybody could have ran that flat line. They might have been a little bit harder to tackle. That one. I think that was Lucy. I'm calling you out, Lucy. Let's have a look at what our picture looked like. I went backwards here. Lucy's got the ball. How many defenders are outside her? This is a 3v2 situation, right? One attacker, two attackers, three attackers versus maybe these two defenders and a third one outside. So Lucy, my advice for you here, use your footwork, but let's use it so we don't cut off the rest of our teammates. And these teammates, y'all need to be coming with more pace. More pace should be up here by the time the ball gets to you. Because if you hang back and stay deep, then these defenders are just going to be able to push off and meet you on the outside. So Lucy, my advice for you is to go forward, commit that first defender, then cut to the outside defender. Try and draw, be a threat to that defender. Try and draw them in as well. Then we maybe get like a tight little pass off here to the next person. And then we have a beautiful wider pass flat to an attacker coming on space right here. And then they're free. They have no defenders in front of them. Okay, so let's learn from those kind of pictures. So it's just about squaring up on that second defender to leave the space open for your other two supporting players. And again, I really want you to see in this grab game, when the defense is moving backwards, that's an opportunity for us to play with momentum. So try and pick out those moments when the defense is really, really moving backwards, that maybe we could just play with our momentum. Skip forwards to the kick for you. Think again about that 2v1 pitcher. It happens more often than not close to the edges of the field. Because the defense have been sucked in to where the rugby ball is in the middle just seconds ago. And we know that passing the ball is going to be faster than running the ball. So the defense are not able to spread out as quickly when the ball gets moved to the outside. And again, we'll just skip forward to the kick. All right. And that's that. The live version of this, without me talking in the background, is also on my YouTube channel. So feel free to check that out if you just want to hear some of the background noise or check out your own play individually. But I will see you this weekend.